A wonderful Thursday evening to you. I'm CBS 19 Weather Authority meteorologist David Reese. Starting this back up, had a couple of days off thanks to meteorologist Jack Durkin for filling in for us one last time. His last day is on Sunday, so he'll get to deal with some rain tomorrow night early Saturday morning, but observed sea level pressure in front. We have a warm front to the south of us. The area of high pressure that gave us all of that cold weather is now up here over the top of Boston. That will continue to push away from us. This area of low pressure, that's what I talked about earlier this week, and well, it's going to be heading our direction. Now, there is some cold air damming that you can see right through here. That's why we're already cooling off pretty quickly around the region tonight. We have some 30s already showing up, so that'll be something we watch for very carefully. I also talked about some 500 millibar vorticity or energy, and you can see that energy very clearly through here. Remember back Monday and Tuesday and Sunday that you had all that energy right through there? Well, that is the upper level low that will continue to swing pretty much off to the north and east here. But it's going to give us rain. Yeah, just plain old-fashioned rain. So here's what we are looking at. This is the 500 millibar forecast for the European model. There's that area of low pressure. Notice that energy? Yeah, right where I showed you on the water vapor imagery. And as we roll into your Friday evening, it's forecast to look like this. Now, this is one thing that we will watch very carefully because there's a lot of energy coming in through here. It does have a little bit of a negative tilt to it. That usually means that you have a lot of moisture coming up from the southeast here, and that's going to lead to the threat for some locally heavy rain. And let's go ahead and put the GFS on top for you guys, and you can see similar scenario. It's not as gung-ho with the rainfall totals, but regardless, that's one reason why it's going to be on the rainier side. And here's a look at the lows and highs. You see that cold air damming signature right about through here. And that's the cold air damming situation. You have the area of low pressure back off to the west of us, at least at this time frame, Friday at lunchtime. But then notice as we head into Friday night, yeah, you have a second area of low pressure developing. That's the one we chat about, and we models originally had it forecast to develop more down here in South Carolina. It's developing pretty much over the top of us. That's why snow and ice and wintry weather is not in the forecast, because by the time the area of low pressure gets over the top of Philly, well, the precipitation is leaving us. So that's why we're looking at just plain old-fashioned rain. Now, I talked about the potential for some heavier rain, so let's dive deeper into that here. Here's the 12-kilometer RPM. It's what I typically show on air, at least a version of it. This is the version that has wind speeds available with it, so I'm going to use this. This is at 850, so this is, say, 5,000 feet, 6,000 feet just above our heads, so pretty much in line with the mountains. Now, why is there the potential for some heavier rain in the mountains? Well, notice the mountains typically go like this. So that's an awful color. That's an awful color. Let's try green. Green should show up a little bit better. Yeah, there we go. All right, so you have the mountains, the Blue Ridge Mountains coming in like that, and line perpendicular to that is pretty much like that. So this is coming in at almost a 90-degree angle. There's a lot of lift through there. There's also a lot of lift back here over the top of Charleston down towards Wythe County and southwestern Virginia. This is 5:30. 5:30, I'm going to show you the futurecast. Notice where the heavier line is. It's forecast to be pretty much right through there. Lots of convergence, lots of lift, and that's why we're looking at, again, the potential for some heavier rain. Now, here on your futurecast RPM, this is what I show you on air pretty much every night. We're looking at, again, some scattered showers early in the day on Friday, in and around the lunch hour, not too bad, in and around dinner time. Yeah, here comes some of the heavier rain. Now, remember me talking about where that lift was? Pretty much right through here, right? Well, notice where you start to have some of those brighter colors showing up. Yeah, right through there. And that's why we're looking at the potential for a line of very heavy rain. I mean, this is pretty impressive by late January standards across the region. This is 1 a.m. I usually speed things up by an hour or two. So regardless, late Friday night, Saturday morning, that's a lot of heavy rain rolling through the region. It's why we have your futurecast precipitation accumulation here through Saturday morning Yeah, anytime you start to see those blues show up, it indicates potential for a ½ to an 1.5 inch of rain. Higher rainfall totals possible in the Blue Ridge Mountains. As a result, the Weather Prediction Center has much of the CBS 19 News viewing area and a slight risk for some flooding, and that's depicted there in that green color. So that'll be something we watch for very carefully. Localized flooding concern again late Friday night into early Saturday morning. There's some of the meteorology behind it. But after this storm system, over the next several days, ho-hum kind of forecast, and really much of the weekend not looking too bad. Lots of sunshine Saturday afternoon, and again Sunday, temperatures in the 50s and remaining in the 50s for the first portion of next week. But the biggest takeaway is for your Friday night, Saturday morning, locally heavy rain, some of the heaviest rain we have seen in quite some time, likely between, say, about 7, 8 o'clock at night all the way into the early morning hours of your Saturday. And then after that, the weekend is looking pretty good. So thanks for joining me tonight, and try to stay dry Friday night, Saturday morning.